Hi, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm probably going to pull us a Sacred Rebels guidance message for the collective. At this point in the week, we need a midweek message. So, Sacred Rebels, what can you let us know at this time regarding the current energy and what it is that's most significant? The best guidance for the collective at this time with regards to their current situation. Thank you. Card 45, Pandora's Gift. Okay, and another card. We also have card 11, Diving for Light. Okay, so a gift. It's time to take off that mask. You have a spiritual gift to share. Open that box and dive right into the light. It's supporting you at this time. There's no need to be afraid. Okay. It's time for you to come to life. It's time for you to paint yourself, whatever colour you heard the way you speak to yourself. You ever heard that voice within? To start listening to the voice inside that's your friend. Faith that this is all coming to life. Dream that beautiful dream. How is it? Paint yourself. What's your favourite colour? Power of attraction. Maybe it's time to start wearing your favourite colours. Maybe you've got the certain glow about you at this time, which is attracting the attention of a special someone in your life, your divine counterpart. Let's read our message. So we have card 45, Pandora's Gift. There is a mythic woman, much maligned throughout history, whose name means all gifted. Pandora lives within us as our curious nature, yearning to conquer chaos, evil, and darkness with the light of knowledge. She is the hopeful voice of our soul that asks the questions and in doing so triggers the process that brings the answers. Sometimes it is through uncomfortable learning that we find our treasure. Pandora reminds us that the process of learning can take us to places that seem like the end of our world. And yet, all is not lost. Even now, The light within you is stirring for new revelation, new life, and new adventure. Pandora is all gifted and all giving. Her presence invites you to forego your belief in judgment. Now is the time to surrender the misplaced guilt that you may have brought upon yourself or another, some terrible happening. It is time to let go of the shame-based belief in punishment. This is a belief that you deserve to be brought to task over any perceived imperfection, or that your natural human journey somehow renders you inadequate. Pandora frees the soul from such torment. This is her gift. The human journey necessarily involves learning through experience. There is no shame in your learning process. Pandora's presence is the sign of a new time, a time to swap the notion of inherent shame for the acceptance of inherent divinity. From this moment on, how unstoppable you shall become. Sacred rebellion is happening within your soul as a powerful uprising towards liberation. You are breaking free from the weighty criticisms of the world, from the power games that bore you senseless, and from the insanity of sacrilegious priorities in this world. Dare to disobey anything and everything that is not divine. Pandora is the leader of your soul revolution. She defies the vicious judgments of history and all that has been said about her. She shrugs off misery, despair, and the weight of the world to recognize that she is the bearer of the true and beautiful light of peace, comfort, hope, and reassurance. With her oracle comes the realization that you too are a divinely defiant believer in hope, who shall cast off the works of anyone who seeks to torment you. As this shift takes place, you shall dare to look within your own being and find the light. You are being put on divine notice from the sacred feminine that there is a talent and ability within you that needs to be acknowledged. There is a worthy seed of something beautiful and necessary within you. If you choose to develop and express this seed, step by step it will become an extraordinary light in your life and in the world. So poke your tongue out at the naysayers and turn your attention to the bright hope within. You were born to strut your soul stuff. So it's time to dive right in. Dive for that light. How brave you are. You are diving for light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly, in that which is blissful, sweet, loving, and kind. To look for the light in that which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may not feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, yet you have taken this wise challenge on from deep within your soul. Your innermost being has evoked this situation in your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life and become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. The oracle of diving for light speaks of a time when you are called into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. That darkness might be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety. There may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness might be generally accepted or socially acknowledged, but there is a socially acceptable, because there is a socially acceptable or obvious reason for it, such as a death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You might not need a reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Just know that you are actually right on track and where you need to be. Our creative process and our spiritual path go through a similar turning of the wheel. There is spring and summer in the seasons of our soul, as well as in the earthly ones. There is the autumn harvest, and there is the death inherent in winter, when energy is concentrated and pulled within to seek out the darkness where it can rest, regenerate, and simply be, until the time is right for new life, energy, and creative inspiration to burst forth. When diving for light, one must be willing to bear the darkness and understand it has a purpose, much like winter does upon the earth. It is not in error or through lack of consciousness that you are here now. It is a testament to your spiritual growth and creative process, not a sign that they are lacking or stalling. The healing process below will help you with your inward plunging and to successfully navigate it. This oracle brings you particular guidance that although you are powerful, you are also vulnerable at this time. You need to be alert to sabotage and criticism that may make your progress more difficult than it already is. That would be rather unnecessary. At least some of the people around you might be more attached to their fear and doubt than to their faith in your process and the ways of the creative, rebellious spiritual path that asks us to trust unconditionally. They may be frightened due to a lack of understanding. You don't need to carry their fear for them. You have your own process to attend to, and they can choose to be inspired by your journey or frightened by it. They are free to respond as they wish, and whatever those responses are, they are part of their journey for them to work through. You also need to be vigilant against the darker forces within you. These are the voices that you may not expect, particularly if you are a pure-hearted being who typically resonates with love. These voices or feelings might surprise you with their dark intensity. They may be feelings of hate, terror, or of wanting only to sleep because anything further is all just too hard. They may contain vicious criticism of yourself or tell you that your inner creative work is pointless, unoriginal, not worth it, or stupid. These dark forces might try to tell you that you are on the wrong path, suggest that you will fail, or ask with great condescension, "Who the hell do you think you are?" You must stay in your heart and not believe these dark forces. Stay in compassion. Fear creates the energy of anger, hate, and destructiveness. These forces are a part of life. We don't have to be frightened of them, but nor do we need to deny their existence or try to ignore them in order to find light in the darkness. We just need to hold compassion and be intelligently aware. so we can avoid being seduced into the trap of needing to prove ourselves, or into the mistaken belief that we might need to fight against darkness. It is too easy to get caught up in trying to heal the dark. Darkness just is. Recognize it when it is there and be in your compassionate heart. All you need to do is make a choice. Will you stay in your heart, or will you be seduced by darkness and overcome by hate or sleepiness? Diving for light is a spiritual test and a threshold for all true creative work. We successfully navigate our way through this test and pass the threshold into new creative birth by staying connected to the light of compassion in our own hearts. It is not an easy test, but it is one that you must be ready for, otherwise it wouldn't be coming to you now. Just remember, it is the light of the heart that sustains. It exists within us always, even in the darkest depths of unknown terrain. There is a darkness within or around you that could become problematic if left unchecked. If for no reason you find yourself feeling angry, irritated, hopeless, or tired more easily than usual, unable to rest, or it is just too much effort to exercise or take care of yourself, then this darkness is having an unnecessary effect on you. It is time to end that now from a place of compassion. The healing process below will empower you for that task. Don't be afraid. You are learning this lesson and the unending power of compassion because you are ready for it. Feel honored by the lesson and stay humbly centered in your powerful, rebellious heart that refuses to be conquered by fear and remains faithful to love. All will be well. So, before moving on to our next card, let's do this healing process, and then we will move on to our next card. So to take part in this healing process, please say the following aloud, whether it makes sense to you or not. I call upon the presence of unconditional love. Be here now without restraint. Fill me and fill this space. Touch all beings with your grace. I feel the presence of unconditional love within me. I acknowledge the presence of unconditional love all around me. I am the presence of unconditional love, and in this love, no fear can remain. May unconditional love guide any fear back to the light of love, or back into the earth as serves the greatest good. My body, mind, heart and soul are now completely bathed in and protected by unconditional love. Through my own free will, this is so. So it says to repeat this morning and night for at least 3 days and continue for as long as you wish and feels good for you. You may feel some reactions to this work. Fear, anger, or irritation may come up. You may feel an overwhelming need to go and do something that doesn't actually seem that important once you start doing it, and could have waited maybe 5 more minutes. You might feel nausea. You might also feel emotional with sadness or grief passing through you. These are all signs that your healing process is working on a darker energy and that the energy is releasing itself from you. Repeat this simple process until you feel clear. Don't be afraid to continue with it as much as needed. Especially if you live or work in a toxic environment with a lot of negativity, arguments, anger, or disturbances, and cannot extricate yourself from that environment for a period of time for various reasons. If you feel you need additional help, seek out a reputable shaman or spiritual healer to assist you. There is no need to fear or to feel burdened by this work. You are being drawn into this experience so that you are ready to experience more light. To be ready for that, we must be capable of handling equal darkness. Now is the preparation. Soon, the celebration will follow. And you can tell a new story. It's time to paint a new picture. See yourself in a new light. Indeed. Come to life. Card 43. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. You are bringing yourself to life now, and this is how it must be. Of course, something being essential doesn't mean it will always be easy. You must support yourself and have courage during this process. Your monkey mind is not to run the show. It might have a lot to say, and at times it seems very convincing, but it is not the one in charge. Your mind can inspire you with ideas. However, it is the real you that speaks through your rebellious sacred heart and is living your life, not the monkey mind. The mind is not much more than a swirling cacophony of habitual reactions. Beneath habitual thoughts, there is a deep, sensual and creative and energetic awakening happening to you. It is so far beyond what the mind is now capable of controlling. Others might not like it because it shakes things up. Coming to life tends to do that. However, it is happening now, and the only real choice you have to make is how to deal with it. Coming to life means feeling. It might bring joy, but it could equally bring sadness, rage, or fear. It could bring all of these and more. Feelings will come and go quite swiftly when allowed to flow. You might need to paint, write, enact, ritual, sing, or dance your feelings to help the energy flow. Don't hold back. Create the space for yourself to do it. In this process, you are uncovering the artistry of the universal creator. You are honoring the sacredness of life by exploring it without restraint, and that includes the flow of your feelings. You don't have to do anything with them other than express. You may want to analyze, or you may not. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are getting in touch with feeling. Learning how to access feelings allows you to learn how to access your intuition, creative inspiration, and genuine internal guidance. These aspects flow from the same place and are often crouched within your feelings in the form of emotions as well as physical sensations. The journey underneath the mind and into a sensual, emotional connection with your feelings, emotions, and body is for a sacred purpose. It is a part of your path. You are one of the sacred but powerful minority that have chosen to come into a body and live consciously within it. That may seem like it applies to everybody, but when you experience it for yourself, you will realize that this is actually rather rare. There are plenty of bodies without a spirit really residing within to care for, love, and honor them as a sacred animal. Fortunately, this minority is powerful enough that it can keep human culture in balance, but only just. We need every single one of us that is capable to be aware of the task and move beyond the mind and into the body. This is especially so if you have also drawn the oracle of beyond the mind, the heart beats. To come to life is a part of your life path. To come into your sensuality, you will need to anchor your experiences. You may be blessed with relationships that are conscious enough to be interested in your journey in a constructive rather than controlling or undermining way. If so, talk, converse, share. If not, then you will need to be more resourceful in how you support yourself through your awakening process, at least until you attract some more conscious connections into your life. It is likely that these connections are already on their way, just because you are working with the energy of this oracle. You can support your own process by scheduling time for yourself and keeping to it like you would the most important date with destiny. So get to writing in your journal. Do your dances. Paint your pictures. Create your creations. Be kind to your body. Listen to it. And let it be alive. Even in times of pain, know that there will also be ecstasy and bliss as the process of healing and awakening continues. The message of this oracle is be alive. Don't imagine you can go back to sleep. You are too awake for that now. There is no falling back into the old ways. If you do so, it will be short-lived, and you won't feel the same and it won't feel the same as it used to. You may grieve this. You will certainly eventually actually celebrate it. You have crossed the threshold from an old way of being in an old life, and try as you might, you cannot return. It is better to let go, grieve if needs be, celebrate if needs be, or do both, and move on into this new moment. There is another adventure awaiting you now. You need a deeper connection to your own instincts, body, feelings, and intuitions so that you can receive this new calling. You can trust in it too. Embrace it, and it will embrace you. So dive your light. You have an opportunity to create a whole new you. This is your gift. The spiritual awareness is increasing. Your light is shining far brighter. It's been awakening the masculines. Much love, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's message.